Chapter 5. The Camp. Nighttime, so often my enemy, will now be my friend, but only for a while. Dusk is here, and the hot winds are dying down. The cold is coming, so I can't wait out here much longer. I've already been lying low for hours. Just a little longer will do. Enough for the light to fade and the dark to cover me up. I keep crawling, nice and slow. Not much further to go. I can hear their voices from here, and they're gurgling. I've spotted two so far, standing up high on some hills, standing guard. I think one of them is the same red I saw through my scope. I'll thank him for standing up so high, but only when he's black. I guess it won't matter at that point. I'll just leave it then. The camp itself is down in a hollow, sheltered from the wind. No wonder I couldn't see it from far away. A light comes on down there. It's not too bright yet. The setting sun is still bathing the land in orange, but I can see its steady glow over the rise that I'm creeping towards. When I get there, I find a nice big dip in the ground and a perfect piece of rubble with a large hole in the middle. It allows me to peer down at the camp unseen. I slide my scope out and scan the scene. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wait a little longer just to be sure. 8. Glad I waited. There are 8 of them that I can see, including the guards. I've not seen this many together in a city for months. 4 are sat on stools in the middle of the camp, gathered round the big light cone like it was a fire. Maybe they do get some warmth from it, because there are a few mats and other things laid out nearby. It looks like where they sleep. Reds don't feel the cold all that much, at least it's not as much as I do, if I remember rightly. Another one is sat off at a table on his own, fiddling with something, head down, concentrating. The last one to appear has just come out of a building and is walking over to the group in the centre, gurgling loudly. I can't see the other one I've come here to find out about anywhere, but there's always the possibility that I've got a prisoner inside that building. Then again, there's also the possibility that there are 10 more Reds in there. Just because I've not seen this many together before doesn't mean there aren't more still. At least it's the only building around here that's still standing. Nowhere else for any of them to be hiding, and nowhere else for them to be keeping what I came here to find. I guess if I want to know what's in there, I'm going to have to wander over and stick my head in, but I'm pretty sure the 8 armed Reds between me and there might have something to say about that. I decide not to ask for their opinion, and begin to make my way around the side of the camp. I keep prone and behind the top of the ridge, trying not to keep my eyes off the 8 for too long. It takes me a while to get there, and I lose sight of some of them from time to time, but by the time I've slid down from the ridge and pressed myself up against the side of the building, I've got them all in view again. I keep my eyes on them as I move around the corner and along the exposed front of the building. 1 at the table, 2 on guard, 5 at the light cone, me at the door. I try the big handle. Nothing. It doesn't move or budge in any way. There's always the option of kicking it in, maybe trying to blast the lock off somehow with my pistol, or blasting the whole damn door off with the cannon. But I have a feeling that someone nearby might notice. So what now? I play my favourite game, weigh up the options. It's a quick game, because I've only come up with 3 viable choices. Option 1 is leave, get out of here, and keep on with my pointless journey to nowhere. That's not happening. Now that I've got a taste of purpose again, I'm not willing to let it go. Option 2 is kill these Reds. Killing them quietly would be safest, but I don't know if or when they might be planning on sleeping, and I've not got the luxury of waiting out here in the cold for them. Besides, the sentries won't be sleeping with the rest, and for all I know, they'll put more guards out on watch when the rest sleep. There might even be more scouting parties out there, like the one I took out earlier, so speed is an issue here. If I'm going with option 2, it will be me trying, against all odds, to kill them all fast and loud. Option 3 is die trying, so I'm hoping option 2 pans out. Going loud in the end might be inevitable, but if I can get 1 or 2 of the 8 before the rest notice, I think it might shift some pretty bad odds back in my favour a little. The 5 in the centre of the camp have to go last if I'm trying to make a quiet starting run. I'd have to be pretty damn ninja to go over there in the light and start taking them out one by one without the others noticing. That leaves the 2 sentries, who, despite appearances, will probably have their mind on their jobs, and the one sat by himself at the table, mind all on tinkering with whatever toy he has there. Choice made. I keep low and creep over to the side of the camp where the table and target sits. It's far enough from the centre to be out of the main light, but the red that sat there has his own lamp to work by. He sits in a pool of dull yellow. Whatever he's doing is frustrating the hell out of him, and every time it doesn't go his way he bangs something or swears loudly. Every time he does, I stop and watch the others. They've heard it so much that they don't even look up at the noise anymore. When I get within a few meters of him, I slide off my pack and leave it on the floor. I keep the cannon with me, just in case, and slip out from the shadows. Still crouched as I move, I draw my knife and pistol. The blade will be best, if I can use it, since I've only got 10 rounds left in my pistol and 8 bodies to make. I'm hoping that the cannon will do for a few of them if they're still bunched together when I fire it, but I have no way of knowing whether it's got any rounds left. I could end up looking pretty stupid if I jump out and shout, "Die Reds!" only to find out that it's empty. Pretty stupid and pretty dead. So the knife it is. I hold the blade out to the side as I approach the Red's chair from behind. I know that slicing up his throat is the way to go, but I've had mixed success with that of late. I'm pondering how else to shut him up, while I shut him down, when he pushes his chair back violently from the table. "Shit!" he mumbles angrily, as he throws something down on the table, and follows it up with some more unintelligible grumbling. "Fuck it then," he says, making a decision. He stands up, and I stand up, making my decision. I raise my pistol high, thankful he's short, and point the barrel down into the top of his cranium. I pull the trigger and drill it down into his brain and who knows what else. The slide racking back on the pistol is the only noise to be heard, and it's quieter than the racket he was already making. The integrated suppressor kicks in and the rest of the blast is absorbed by his skull, and the round never had a chance to go sonic. The Red's friends don't look up. He sits back down. I smile. Not because of the killing. Killing doesn't do it for me like that. I smile because even as I was doing the killing, I was thinking, what do I do next? How do I take out 7 more, with only 9 pistol rounds and a cannon that may or may not work? As the dead Red slumps slightly down in his chair, my answer is revealed. Sat on the table in front of his twitching corpse, stripped into bits but all present, lies the slick, full-auto killing machine known as the AK-93. A couple of magazines are sat nearby. So I smile. It's not a rifle I've used that much, and it's certainly never been issued to me by my side, but they teach us how to handle any potential enemy tech that we might encounter in the field. They give us enough of an idea on how to strip it, clean it, load it and fire it, as long as our hands are actually physically able to do all that. This model might be a little bit behind the equipment that I'm used to carrying in terms of precision, but it comes with the advantage, to me at least, of being made of basically the same materials and parts that I'm used to dealing with. That's the same reason, in reverse, why I had no idea how to do anything more than fire the cannon, and why the Red techie here had no joy fixing this AK up. A few seconds later I've got the death machine all up and running. I slowly cock the charging handle a few times to make sure the mechanism is still smooth. It seems to be. I clip in 1 mag from the table and the reader says that it's nearly empty. 6 rounds. I'm not complaining, but it's not as good as I was hoping for. I eject it and try the second mag. This time the reader says full at 66. You're staying in there. I shoulder the weapon and get a feel for it. From what I remember, this thing will kick like a mule compared to my old issue rifle, but its high power rounds will penetrate any target, come out the other side, and then do it a few more times to whatever gets in their way. Just what I need. The fact is that as soon as I take a shot, no matter what I'm shooting at, the big group in the centre of the camp is going to hear and react. They have their own weapons to hand, and some big chunks of broken city nearby to hide behind, so no matter what I do next, I'm going to have to put some fire down on them fast while they're still all bunched together. Who gets it first then? I don't have time to ponder too long, since I've already been stood here next to a corpse for half a minute. I remember that some important man once said something like, when you have to make a decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing, the second best is the wrong thing, and the worst is to do nothing. So I aim up at the sentry to my right, line him up in the sights, and squeeze the trigger. The rifle is set to 3-round burst. The first 2 take him in the centre of his back, and the third flies high over his shoulder. It doesn't matter. He won't be getting up, but I need to control this recoil. I turn towards the movement behind me in the camp. It's not as urgent as it could be. I take it that the Reds here just assume that the techie has finally fixed up his toy. You should never assume. I flick the selector to full auto and rinse the little crowd. I know I should fire in bursts, but instead I just lean into the kick and empty a good 40+ rounds their way in a few seconds of violence. The 3 nearest to me take the brunt of it and get ripped up. The 2 furthest away get dropped as well as the rounds go through their friends and on through them. I see the head pop on one of them and gore coats the somehow untouched light cone. I don't have time to move up and confirm the kills as I'm thrown off my feet by something smashing into my back. I roll forward on instinct and crash into what looks like a giant piece of concrete. I quickly scramble up and over it, getting my whole body behind it for cover. Another shot hits the top and sends grey splinters and dust over my head. It's the other sentry, and he's shooting at me with something powerful. I wonder how I'm still going and reach around to check for any kind of hole in my back. Instead, I feel a pretty damn tender area that sits just under the cannon. I slide it around to take a look and find a massive dent in the weapon. That's the end of that then. I drop it there and stick my head out the side of the cover. A shot hits the floor a little bit away from me. I had enough time to see where he fired from up on the ridge. The weapons flash bright against the night sky. He's up near the place I entered the camp. The sniper is taking shots at me as soon as he sees me, and not making a good job of it. I hope he's as skittish when he's getting shot at as he is when he's doing the shooting. More so. I throw the broken cannon out of cover near my feet, and he takes a pop at that too. While he's focused on it, I sit up and open up on him with what's left in the rest of the AK mag. I guess he's well covered, and I know my shots are wild, so I don't think anything hits him. But I see his outline as he gets up and moves. He's running. I draw my pistol and wing a few more shots behind him to keep him going. Run, rabbit, run. Now he must know that with that weapon, at this range, he's got the advantage over me. I hope he's not so skittish that he just decides to run away. I don't need an unknown factor like that on my back, and I hope he realises that he doesn't want me at his either. The right choice, for him, is to reposition quickly and take another shot from a better vantage point while he still knows where I am. With that in mind, I move quickly and put myself somewhere else. In my new position, I prepare quickly. On top of the AK sits a U-rail, so I slide out my rifle scope and slide it on. I tap a button and it calibrates quickly. Then a symbol on the scope screen lets me know it's ready. It won't be a perfect 0, but it will be the best that the onboard computer in the U-rail system can do. I load in the last mag with the 6 rounds, flick the rifle into burst, and then I tap the scope to thermal, take aim, and wait. I don't have to wait long until the blue screen has a little yellow circle appear on it, right in the centre, right where I was aiming, right in that little dip that I couldn't resist sliding into when I was up there earlier, wanting to take a peek down here. Exactly where this red now can't resist peeking out from either. I squeeze the trigger and send 3 rounds. I squeeze again and the last 3 go too. When I check on the scope, the little area of yellow is still there, but now there are small pieces of yellow scattered all around it too. It might be blood or brains or anything really. All I know is that the red needed whatever it was inside him to stay alive, and now it's not inside him anymore. That's good enough for me. I really hope there are more magazines for this AK around here somewhere, because it's a useful tool to have.